They have. It'll be a real test for us. We're expecting a really tough physical game. You know, they're sitting second in the league. I think they've only lost 2 games. So we're expecting a real tough challenge. You know, we're hopeful that the travel's going to disrupt their preparations a little bit, because it is a fair journey, and obviously our guys, we're at home, we're on TV. You know, there's no more motivation needed, really.
Thank you for joining us. And before we get to this weekend's big match live on our league against Barrow Island, how's the start to the campaign been in Division 2 of the NCL?
Yeah, it's a tough league, and I would say we've had a mixed start. We're probably a little bit lower in the league than we believe we should be. We've had some good performances and some not so good performances. You know, and inconsistency's really been the story of our start of the campaign, and that's something we're obviously looking to work on. You know, we have dominated teams for periods of the game, but not found that winning edge at times, unfortunately.
And how's that transition been as well from going from a regional comp, which is what we had during COVID, to this now having to play a pan-northern competition?
Yeah, it's obviously a good thing in a way, and it's how it should be. But it brings with it challenges. Obviously, there's quite a lot of travelling involved, and you know, we're playing amateur rugby, so people have work commitments. So, you know, I'm sure for all teams, including ourselves, a consistent team is the key, and you sometimes struggle with that with the away games. Barrow, who we've got at home, have obviously got a big job on their hands travelling to our place, and we've got that to come later on in the season. So obviously it's great to be travelling to these other clubs, and that's what we want to be doing, but it does bring its challenges in terms of player availability.
And with regards to the players themselves, obviously, in previous interviews I've done with NCL head coaches, they've all kind of had the same thing where there's been players who, you know, heading into COVID might have, you know, lasted a couple more seasons who've gone, that's me done, and they've had to, you know, call some younger players. Have you had that problem as well?
We definitely have, Ben. You know, we're fortunate and we have got a really big squad, and we've got a really good under-18s team coming through, and some of those guys have been great and have stepped up, because we've been obviously putting 2 teams out a lot of the weeks, which, you know, is fortunate for us, and a lot of clubs struggle with that. We have had some players that have left the game, unfortunately, not just through retirement. I think COVID has changed people's mindsets and priorities, and people have gone on to focus on other things, as I'm sure has happened at all clubs.
It's going to be a learning curve, isn't it, for a lot of people?
It is definitely a learning curve. You know, we've had people step into the NCL team that have been playing the Yorkshire Men's League team for a number of seasons. We've had some of our under-18s, some of which were only sort of 16, 17, stepping up and playing NCL, and they've done a really good job. You know, we train together quite a lot, and we've done quite a lot of joint sessions with the under-18, so we've got a really good squad ethos. And that definitely helps.
And it's not just a learning curve for the players this season, Lee. I mean, you've had to step up as well this year.
Absolutely, yeah. We've had some tragic news at the start of the season that the head coach, Pete Robinson, were diagnosed with cancer and is undergoing treatment as we speak. So Peter's had to step away, and myself and Mark Fortis and Christian Floyd have stepped in to fill the gap. Obviously, we wish Peter well, and his thoughts are with him, and the lads are right behind him as we are. And he's doing well. He'll come to the odd training session, and he'll come to the odd game where he's fit and able to do so. So it's a real motivator for us, and something else that spurs us on through the season. You know, Mark Fortis, who's assisting with the coaching, has taken on a challenge to raise funds for Peter, and the challenge he's cycling to every away game that we're going to play throughout this season. So he's already done a number, and he's raising funds and sponsorship for that, and that'll all go directly to Peter or a charity of his choice. And he's got a real challenge in August when we reverse this fixture and we play Barrow Island away. He's going to be setting off in the early hours of the morning and cycling all the way up to Barrow from Dewsbury Moor Rugby Club. And we have had a number of clubs that we've played have already donated.
Sending our best wishes to Peter. Best place to go to is obviously the Dewsbury Moor Twitter feed, isn't it? Which is at Dewsbury Moor ARL. Big good luck with that bike ride, especially the one to Barrow Island. Would you say he's setting off next week?
Probably. He'll get there for August.
And speaking of the club more generally, because like you say, it's a big squad there, but it's also a big conveyor belt, isn't it? And we had Dewsbury Moor on a couple of months ago ahead of the Women's Challenge Cup because, you know, the women's section is growing all the time at the club. What's the vibe like at the club more generally as we head out of COVID?
It's great, honestly. It's a fantastic club. You know, it's at the heart of the community. We've got so many junior teams, so the conveyor belt is definitely running smoothly. You know, we've just redone the club over the last couple of years, and you know, it's a fantastic facilities that we've got now. You know, we've doubled it in size, and we've got teams right down to, you know, tots at 3 or 4 year old up to under 18s, and I've 3 boys. They all play in the junior section, and it's a fantastic club, and they all love it. You know, my lads, and I'm sure most of the juniors at the club, it's the favourite place to be. And they'll all be down on Saturday to support the game, as they always are to support the open age team.
Let's talk about this weekend then. Like we said, this match live on our league, cracking coverage of the NCL this season, we have to say. I mean, just I thought on the challenge of Barrow Island, they have got to travel to West Yorkshire to take you on, but they've had a really good start. So this is a test this weekend.
They have. It'll be a real test for us. We're expecting a really tough physical game. You know, they're sitting second in the league. I think they've only lost 2 games. So we're expecting a real tough challenge. You know, we're hopeful that the travel's going to disrupt their preparations a little bit, because it is a fair journey, and obviously our guys, we're at home, we're on TV. You know, there's no more motivation needed really. So, you know, it'll be a really competitive game, and, you know, we're confident of getting the 2 points, get us moving up that table. But, you know, we're not underestimating. We've seen, you know, some of the videos of Barrow, and they're a good team. So it'll be a tough one, but should be a really competitive, engaging encounter.
And going off what you said earlier, Lee, about the starts of the season, would you say you're not a million miles off from it actually clicking? So
no, it is. Absolutely, it's been frustrating a little bit at times. You know, we've been competitive in every game we've played. You know, we've been in front or in the arm wrestle for large parts of that game, and I haven't come across a team that I'd hold my hands up and say, you know what, they're a better team, and that, you know, we're never going to beat them no matter what we do. You know, every team we've played has been beatable. We've just lacked some composure, some smartness at times, and not found that cutting edge to win the game. And we need to really address that. That's something that we've been working on over the last few weeks, and, you know, we'll definitely get there with that.
And with that regard, how important is the crowd going to be this weekend? And
massive.
I mean, crowds have been up across the NCL, haven't they? I mean, you can see from all the photographs and stuff and the coverage on our league. I mean, it is really impressive what's going on in the amateur game this season.
It is. You know, we've got a really good following, and I'm expecting a huge crowd on Saturday. We've sort of made it a family day. So, you know, we've got things going on all throughout the day, and then we've got our under-13s playing a curtain raiser before the game. So we're expecting a huge crowd, you know, hopefully to rival the crowd that we had not long ago for the Dewsbury Celtic game, where we probably had 1,000 people there. And it really gives the home team an advantage when the vocal and on your side.
Just a quick plug then, Lee, just for, I hope you've got all the information in front of you or in memory, but what time do the gates open and that kind of thing?
Yeah, so the under-13s are kicking off at 2 p.m. Gates, I believe, are open at 1 p.m. So there'll be bouncy castles and face painting and all sorts of stalls for the kids. There'll be a licensed bar down there. And then the open age games kicking off at 4:30.
And live on our league.
Live on our league, yeah.
Yeah, cracking
Definitely.
stuff. Cracking stuff, Liam. I mean, what's your thoughts on the coverage more generally this season? Not bad, is it, really?
Fantastic. Yeah, it's fantastic. You know, we're so, absolutely over the moon to be part of this and to get the opportunity to showcase a fantastic club and the fantastic squad we've got. You know, the guys are buzzing, and since we found out about it, they've been buzzing about this week. And I certainly have no selection problems this week. I'll be queuing all the way around Dewsbury Moor to get picked in that team on Saturday, definitely.